Hello, friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to Morning Tea with CJ, the show where I browse the web, chat with all the wonderful people watching live, and maybe find some new library or something to try and implement. It's been a long time since I last did the show. If I check, the last time I did the show was back in September of last year. But I think I'm going to start doing it again. It's always fun to just browse and see the latest news and talk about it and stuff like that. Give me just a second. Let's say hello to all the people in the chat. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Cool. Hello, Oliver. Welcome to the stream. 36 minutes passes when the stream was supposed to start. It's now 10:49, but yes, that was a weird time. And hello, Joshua. Welcome to the stream. Hello, ATD285. Hello, Mayer. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Wally Oxen. Hello, Ayub. Hello, Jake McKay. Welcome, welcome. Hello, the Finnish shoulder. Soldier, not shoulder. Hello, Amadou. Good morning. Hello, Ron. Bonjour. Hello, Lemac. Hello, Abanga, who says, finally a stream I can watch live that is not in the middle of the night. Yes, hopefully I'll try to do more of these early weekend streams. Hello, BMax, and hello, Joel. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Kamalesh. All right. So if you've never seen the show, which you probably haven't because I haven't done it in a long time, I do have a... give me my mouse back. Just a second. I lost my mouse. Just a second. Are you kidding me? You know what? I think I'm just gonna have to do this. There we go. Jeez. I was trying to share my mouse between computers, but that wasn't working. But if you're new to the show, I do have a GitHub repo. It's github.com/codinggarden/morning-t. In all of the past episodes, I've created a README with all the links that I find and potentially any code that I implement. I'll upload it to this repo. So we have a blank README to get ready to get started today. Typically what I do is I just browse Reddit. Look at the latest news, look at new libraries and stuff like that. If any of you watching live have any news that you'd like to share, feel free to throw it in the chat, and we can talk about that as well. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Do Noob from Germany. That's awesome. Hello, Iheb. And they asked, what are we going to do today? We don't know. We're going to see what's in the news, and we'll figure it out as we go. And yes, this morning I'll be drinking a yerba mate revel berry. Let's pop it open. Good stuff. If you're drinking tea, if you're drinking coffee, let me know what you're drinking. Let's get started. We'll start with r/JavaScript, and let's just refresh the page so we have the latest news. Let's look at this first one. Finance.js makes it easy to incorporate common financial calculations into your application. The library is built on pure JavaScript without any dependencies. Well, it has 307 upvotes, 40 comments. Let's look at it. Install it with npm. Calculate things. Amortization. That's cool. What else you got? Compound annual growth rate. Compound interest. Future value. Discount factor. Internal rate of return. That's great. I'm not really into finance or anything like that, but that's super cool. Let's throw a link to this in the README. Maybe at the end of the show, I build a simple finance app that does some calculations. Who's to say? Let's look at the Reddit comments, see what people are saying about it. The library is built on pure JavaScript without any dependencies. Is that legal? Wow. Let me link to these comments too. How come it's using methods on an instance rather than just standalone pure functions? The constructor isn't passed any arguments. That is a good point. Let's take a look at what needs to happen. Yeah, so what they're talking about here is, so you require in finance, then you create an instance of it, and then you have access to all of those methods. But what they're saying is all of these methods are pure functions, meaning you pass in the data and you get back some result. Every time you pass in the same data, you're always going to get back the same result. So you really shouldn't need to create an instance. All of these should just be static methods that you can just call without creating an instance. Let's see if they have a reason for that. Yeah, the constructed object doesn't even have state. It's called object as namespace? No, because you could still put all of these functions on an object called finance. Dope. They do make a good point, though. Like, you don't... This is like an unnecessary instance. Why are function names all... So all of these comments, I guess Reddit is it's typically pretty negative, but yeah, all these comments are just criticizing it. But they make a good point. Why use abbreviations? Why not use the full name? I don't know. If these stay negative, I'm gonna stop reading them. Does it help with box spreads? That means sarcasm. Not the author, but give me a little time and I'll address the following. Why are the function names abbreviations? Why not standalone pure functions? Working tests and CI pipeline. If we look at it on GitHub, does it have tests? It does have tests. Okay. But yeah, these comments are very critical. Here's a positive one. This is great. Thanks for sharing. Cool. I'm going to stop reading those comments because they are getting pretty negative. But yeah, this is interesting. Maybe we'll build a calculator app or something like that. Let's catch up on the chat. I'm going to attempt to share my mouse with my other computer again. Before it locked my mouse on that screen and I couldn't move it over anymore. There we go. Monitor manager. Yeah. Okay. Wally Oxen is drinking water. That's great. Oh, Mayur is drinking more milk. Sounds nice. B-Max, just finished my coffee. Wish I knew this was happening earlier. Yeah, I just announced it this morning. I think I'll try to schedule one for next Saturday so people can know that it's going to happen. Ayub just said, did you see the possibility of adding PWAs in the Google Play Store? I did not, but I'll make a note of it and we can find some articles on it. That sounds cool. Joshua's saying, I'm British, so anything I drink can be considered tea. Yeah, it might be, like, blasphemous that I'm drinking tea out of a can, but I really like this brand of tea. Actually, I want to get sponsored by this brand of tea. If they just gave me cases of yerba mate, like, that's pretty much all the sponsorship I would need. Hello, Elia. Welcome to the stream. ATD285 asks, how is your new job going? I just applied for a job as a Vue.js developer. They sent me a fun little technical challenge that I'm finishing today. Would be my first dev job, so I'm a bit nervous. That is awesome. Good luck with that. Feel free to throw a message in the Discord if you want someone or even me to like review your code or something like that. But my job is going great. I love it. I mostly get to work from home when I want to or need to. The coding is fun. I have responsibilities. People appreciate my opinions, and yeah, I like it. It's a good time. Joshua's saying you could go crazy and try a React Native mini app. That would not be a bad idea, mainly because for the Coding Garden community app, we are going to be using React Native. That would be fun. Hello, Krisu from Germany. Welcome to the stream. King David is saying, is it Saturday morning already in Denver? It is. Are you somehow behind? I would assume most everyone is ahead of my time zone. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, King David is in the previous time zone. Hello, Robo King. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, ATD285 is saying, I stopped going to learn r/learn programming. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on there. Yeah, I think this might have been the the subreddit that I posted a link to my channel to a while back, and just everyone, like, so some nice people from the Discord commented, and then everyone was like, these comments are fake, nobody's that nice, nobody's that good. It was very negative, so I don't care to share my stuff on Reddit anymore. Hello, Bob's Paradox, welcome to the stream. Jonathan says, drinking nothing because it's sleep time over here. You get some chamomile, maybe, or like decaf coffee. I like to drink like lavender chamomile tea at night. It's nice. Selman says, hello, CJ. Your live streams are great and informative. Thank you very much. Nikhil is saying GraphQL. That might be fun. If I find any news on it, actually, so there was someone reached out to the Denver Vue.js meetup to try out this GraphQL tool. That would actually be pretty sweet to use or try out. This is from Nikhil. Oh, give credit. Oh, this was Ayub. Sorry, not Ayub. Hello, Jesus. Welcome to the stream. Extremeful says, I remember you from Galvanize. I was G77, so I miss learning from you. Hope your career and learnings are going well. You can always watch the Coding Garden and learn from me there. All right. So, Finance.js, it looks kind of cool. There are some valid critiques of it. Let's keep moving. Ooh, what's new in ECMAScript 2019? Shared 10 hours ago. The ECMA TC39 community responsible for the ECMAScript specification confirmed a list of features that are in stage 4. So, does this link to GitHub? Yeah. If you're not familiar, basically anyone or any organization can suggest new features to be added into the ECMAScript standard, which is the basis for JavaScript. And they create what are called proposals that say, like, I think this thing should be in the language. And they start off initially as straw man, meaning it's just an idea. They don't really have any backing from any like major browsers or companies. And then it progressively gets more and more backing and more support. And I think by the time it's a stage 3 proposal, some browsers have actually added it as under like a feature flag, or it exists in the browser. And then finally, I believe if it's made it to stage 3, it will appear in the next version of ECMAScript. So, and the way ECMAScript is working now, every single year they have a new release of a bunch of features. It started in 2015 with ES2019. It was like tons of features, and now every year since then, it's been just a few extra features. Okay, but let's look and see what's going to be in ES2019. You must have used a try-catch block before. Yes, I have. What if you didn't need to bind the error parameter of the catch clause? Now you can skip the parameter binding. Well, that's nice. You might have tried to do this before. Let's take a quick stretch. Yeah, you might have tried to do this before, like, you do a try-catch, and you're like, I don't need the error, let's just take it off. And then you get a syntax error. So currently, when you do a try-catch, you have to specify this error stuff. But in ES2019, it will be optional, so that's cool. JSON Superset by Richard Gibson. It's fully backwards compatible. Let's see what it adds. In reality, the JSON standard is not a subset of ECMAScript. So JSON is JavaScript object notation. It's actually like a separate standard for how you define JavaScript objects. And what they're saying here is it's technically not in JavaScript itself, so there might be some differences. JSON can contain an unescaped line separator and paragraph separator, but ECMAScript must use an escape sequence to add them to the string. This may cause occasional bugs, and this proposal introduces some consistency between ECMAScript string literals and JSON string literals. Interesting. So now, in the JavaScript language, these things that were supported by the JSON standard, but not necessarily by ECMAScript, will actually be there, so you'll run into less bugs. That's cool. Let me add a link to this before I forget. Okay. Symbol.prototype.description. To improve debugging experience, a symbol can be created with an optional description. Historically, we used to access the description via toString. Okay. Interesting. So the way people, so symbol is a primitive that was introduced into JavaScript in ES2015. It's basically like a way of almost creating your own like unique type. It's probably not the best definition of it, but symbols are a thing. But before, if you wanted to describe the symbol, you had to do toString. Now you can just access the description property. That's cool. Function.prototype toString revision. Okay. The toString implementation has been revised again and standardized the returned implementation dependent. So let's see. It's an incremental update in a big proposal. So you have this function, you send it to string, and you get back this. Sure. And if you are sending some native function to string, you typically see native code. What does this add, though? Remove the forward incompatible requirement. Clarify the functional equivalent. Okay, this is too much for me. I don't know exactly what that does. Let's catch up on the chat real quick. Joe just asked, can you make the chat visible so we can full screen the stream? That's actually not a bad idea. I have like extra space right above my head. Let's do it. Let's go to my channel. Let's go to this stream that's happening right now. This is too much for me. Can we pop out the chat? Pop out the chat. Close the window. Chat goes here. Doo-doo. Just like that. Cool. I like that. It might be a little bit hard to see, but yeah, let's catch up. I think so. I want to view live chat. I think I was about, where was I? Here. Hello, Thanos. Welcome to the stream. And yes, Oliver is saying someday we'll have optional chaining natively. I think I did a, was it a morning tea I did a while back? But I tried to add the optional chaining proposal to, no, yeah, it was a morning tea. But let's look up the ECMAScript optional chaining. Yes, so optional chaining is a really cool thing. Basically, you often in JavaScript have to write code that says, okay, I want to access a property on some nested property in an object. But first I need to make sure that the object is not null or undefined, make sure it exists. Then I need to make sure the nested property exists, and if that exists, I'll make sure that its nested property exists, and if that exists, we can access the property. In the simplest case, you might use something like a ternary. So if foo input has a value, let's access the value property, otherwise undefined. Optional chaining gives you this nice little question mark. So basically, you could say, okay, we know that user exists, but the address property on user might not exist. If it does exist, access the street property that's nested inside of that. Otherwise, street just gets the value undefined. So this is really good for like nested undefined checks. It actually does exist in C#. Right when I left my last job, I think C# was around version 6, and they had just introduced it. But it's really convenient, and it has not made it into the language yet. Right now, it is a stage 1 proposal, so until this makes it to like stage 3, we won't see it in ECMAScript. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the stream. Thanos is saying, I just read about this. Let's take a look. Next generation full text JavaScript search library for browser and node.js. Yeah. I'll add a link. Zeno says, I really like your stream. Thank you very much. Hello, the Moon Tory. My day is going okay. I slept decent. Hello, Jake. Welcome to the stream. Oliver says, I can't say that try catch without error excites me. It'll lead to more people doing catches that just ignore the error, which is a good way to hide bugs. That is very true. We call that like swallowing errors. So someone will throw a try catch in there just so you don't have to like see the error logs in the console, when actually you probably want to see that, and now the application is in like some weird state. So yeah, it's true. Hello, JT. Welcome to the stream. It has been a very long time since I've done one of these. I think I'm going to try to stay consistent and do it every Saturday morning. You know what? Right here, right now, I'm going to schedule the stream for next Saturday. Let's do it. Just because, like, I don't know, I've gotten really off of being consistent on my streams, and I want to get back into it. Actually... Okay, live streaming. You're seeing behind the scenes events. What can I do? New live event? Can I copy an existing live event? Really, I just want to copy this. Leave. New live event. Next Saturday. What is next Saturday? The 9th. February 9th. Wait, did I put 2018 in the title or is it 2019 in the title? Okay, I didn't put the year. So next Saturday at 10:36 a.m. Tune in again for another morning tea with CJ. Create it. I'm gonna stick to it. Next Saturday, you'll see me. Hello, Kotek. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Domenico, where it's almost dinner time in Italy. It's not even lunchtime here yet. I don't know what I'm eating for lunch. Maybe some soup. I got a bunch of soup. Jimmy asks, hello, CJ, who is making Evolving the JavaScript Language? So it's a committee. So if you search for, here, let me just do this really quick. I'm going to add this to the upcoming live streams and morning tea. Cool. But if you search the web for TC39, you'll learn about the Technical Committee 39. They're a group of people that basically decide what features will show up in ECMAScript. A lot of companies are represented there. So Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Adobe, any company that cares about JavaScript typically has some of their more like senior technical folks on this committee that are representatives of that company, because certain companies might essentially want to like lobby for certain features to be in the language. So it's a collection of all the JavaScript giants and influencers that ultimately decide what will be in the next language. Anyone can make a proposal, but it needs like a champion on the committee, meaning someone on the committee needs to help see that proposal through to actually get added in. But ultimately, it's like a somewhat democratic process, and I believe they have open meeting notes, so you can see what they talk about in every meeting. You can comment it on GitHub. But yeah, it's basically a meeting of the minds. Ahmad is asking, will the stream be saved on the channel? Yes, it will at this very link that you're at right now. The video will be up right afterwards. Hello, Andreas. Welcome to the stream. Jiraj is saying, wakata.io. Am I gonna regret this? You can finally understand how JavaScript is read by the computer. Interesting. I'll take a look at that in a bit. What did Oliver say? Connor, what did I miss? Not much. All of the links and stuff. I think I clicked 2 links so far. There's a lot of people in the chat. We're just saying hello, but I'm going to upload this to GitHub and you can see all the stuff that I found. Kotek is asking, what college did I go to? I went to Louisiana Tech University. Got a degree in computer science. Thanos is saying Lodash does a great job in optional chaining. Let's take a look. Gets the value of the path object if it is resolved. Interesting. So This is kind of like a workaround because you're basically passing in a string of nested properties, which I don't really like because like if the property name changes, you have to update the string. But this is essentially a way you could implement it. Like you could parse this string, try to access each property, but if it doesn't exist, return undefined. That's pretty cool. CodeTech is asking any boot camp I would suggest. Not really. I mean, if you have the time and the money, really just like look at online reviews and stuff like that. I've heard of this one called, is it Thinkful? They seemed pretty interesting. It's online, and I don't know if this is the one. There are certain boot camps that will allow you to go for free, and then you just have to pay for it after you actually get a job. Sometimes it's not worth it because the amount you're paying them is so much more than you would have just paid up front. But I don't know. Do some online research. Ask your friends. I don't really have any suggestions. Hello, Akin. Welcome to the stream. All right, I'm about to stop reading the chat, but I mean, we're here, we're hanging out. It's morning tea time. Normally, I'm like trying to build something, so like I can't really look at all of the chat. Melissa says, "Hey CJ, just found your channel. Enjoy your teaching style. Thank you very much." Hello, Andrew Lewis. Welcome to the stream. Oh, Andreas, just wanted to tell you I got my first web dev job at the end of last December. It's not in small part due to your streams, which kept me motivated to keep building stuff. Hell yeah! Can I say hell yeah? This is a family stream. I don't know, but that's awesome, Andreas. Glad to hear it. Raphael. Been watching a lot of videos to learn Angular and Vue, but still don't feel confident to start coding because there's still stuff I don't understand. Any advice? Raphael, my advice is to try and just do vanilla JavaScript. Like, try and understand as much as you can the language itself, because all of these other things like Angular and Vue, they're just using JavaScript under the hood. So the better understanding you have of JavaScript, the easier it's going to be to use those other things, which essentially provide a lot of magic, like they hide the details from you. I actually did a video a while back where I wrote my own little framework using vanilla JavaScript. Might be fun to watch. It also is pretty fast-paced, and I use some like newer features, but if you scroll down in playlists and look at the noob streams JavaScript stream playlist, this very first video, Vanilla.js MVC, in about 20 minutes, I implement a quasi front-end framework to kind of show how things are working, so that might be fun to check out. Cool. Andrea says, I'm doing front end, mainly React. Our stack is basically Drupal or WordPress on the back end and React on the front end. Very cool. So I guess, does Drupal have like a headless CMS now, like an API kind of thing, kind of like WordPress did? Because I see that as like a new stack people are using, where WordPress used to be like everything was PHP and you had to build your views in it, but now they created an API where you can use basically whatever front end you want for it. Let's take a quick stretch. Snail is asking, do you have any interest in doing lectures outside the US? It would be fun. Maybe if people paid for my travel fees. I don't know. I do have a day job right now, so I could potentially work remote, but yeah. Connor, I just got my first web job last week, and I start on Monday. Congrats. Take deep breaths. Don't try to be anything you're not. Let people know when you don't know. Try to be self-sufficient and figure things out yourself, but don't be afraid to ask for help. You can do it. Okay, I'm gonna like leave my spot in the chat, like right there, and then I'll catch up in a second. Let's keep reading. So we were looking at this article on what's new in ECMAScript. We just learned about some updates to the toString function on the function prototype. Don't really know what it does. That's okay. Object.from entries, a very handy way to convert a list of key value pairs into an object. That is interesting. This would be a fun little like code challenge, but basically you're given an array of arrays, and you want to turn that into an object that looks like this. Now you can, and it's built into the language. So you pass that array into from entries, and it creates that object. That's pretty cool. All right, well-formed JSON stringify by Richard Gibson. Actually, I really like this from entries thing. Someone tweeted about it. I think I'll tweet about it, and you guys can like it because that'll be fun. But let's just do this. Okay, it's a fun little code challenge, right? We want to create this function called from entries. Let's do it right now. Okay. So if I were to run this code right now, it would break because this feature from entries is not in the language yet. So like if I tried to run this code, break. From entries is not a function. Let's make it a function. So I'm going to do something you should probably never do. Really, you should do a check. So like say like if object dot from entries does not exist, then we're going to create it. So we're going to say, oh, sorry, object dot prototype. Or is it? No, it's not on the prototype. It's just a function. So then we'll create it. So it's going to be a function. Really, we could just use an arrow function. I don't think it does any binding. It takes in an array, and ultimately, it will return some object. Cool. So how are we going to recreate this thing? Let's just do it with like some simple for loops first, and then we could like reduce it. But basically, we need a place to store the properties, right? We need some object that we're going to build up. And then we'll need to iterate over the array. And as we iterate, we're going to have to look at both values in the sub-array. So we will set a property on the object with a key of current array at 0. So the key is going to be name, and a value of current array at 1. So the value will be Pavel. And we just do that a bunch of times, and by the end of it, we have an object with all of the properties. So let's do it. So a place to store the properties, we'll just call this object. We'll initialize it to just an empty object because it doesn't have anything. Then we'll iterate over the array. And so this loop is looping over each item. So this is item 1, item 2, item 3. And then each item itself is an array, so let's call it current array. You could call it, whoa. Just a second. You could call it anything you want, but we're going to call it current array. Or we could call it like inner array. Let's do that, because it's like an array inside of the array. And then we want to set a property on the object with the key of inner array bracket 0. So we could say object at inner array 0 equals inner array at 1. So basically, we're creating a property on the object and setting it equal to that value. Now, there are like 1,000,001 different ways to do this. Let's show you all the ways. Actually, let's make sure that this works, and then I'm going to show you other ways that we could do that. And then after this, we just return the object, and we're done. Easy as pie. Let's run it. Boom, we did it. So we have implemented that function. But let's talk about other ways to do this. So this is kind of like really weird syntax. If you're new to JavaScript, when you see this, you're like, what the heck is happening here? There's brackets inside of brackets. Let's just store these things in variables, right? So we'll rewrite this code, but we'll say property, or let's call it key, is going to be inner array at 0. And we'll say value is going to be inner array at 1. And so now we have these two variables, key and value, and we can just replace this. We can say object at key equals value. Just like that. So these 4 lines of code are basically doing the exact same thing as these 2 lines of code, but it's a little bit more readable because this inner array we're talking about would be something like this. 0 becomes the key, and 1 becomes the value. And then we're using dynamic property access to take the value of key and create a property on an object and set it equal to the value. So this should work in the same way. Great. But there's more. So this is like manually grabbing each property. We could use destructuring, which will just pluck those things out, and we can pluck these things out of the inner array, and we can give them instant variable names. So we could do this. We could say key, comma, value. So destructuring works by, if you're destructuring an array, the left-hand side has brackets, and then you basically say, okay, the array at index 0, let's create a variable called key. The array at index 1, let's create a variable called value. And on the right-hand side, you set it equal to the array you want to pull it out of. Like that. And then you can just say object at key equals value. Isn't that sweet? So this is destructuring, which is introduced in ES2015. And this will work in the same way. And this is a little bit more readable. If you understand how destructuring works, it's pretty clean. Look at that. So that's fun. The other thing is we could use a reduce. So right now we're just looping over, but basically what we need to do is we need to reduce this array into an object. So let's show how that would be done. First, let's just convert this to use a for each, right? It'll be very similar, but I could say array.for each inner array. And then this code goes there. And all of this goes away. And now should be inner. Oh, sorry. This was that right? No. Yeah, that's right. This should just be inner array. So all that code goes away. We're iterating over the array. With each inner array, we're grabbing off the key and the value and putting it on the object. Great. But now what if we wanted to, instead of doing a for each, just reduce this thing to an object? Fun. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to comment out basically all of this code. These are the 2 things that we need, but all of this goes away. And ultimately, we want to return array.reduce. Reducer gives us first the accumulator. In this case, the object we're creating is our accumulator, and then each value will be called inner array. And the second parameter to reduce is what should your accumulator start at? And you'll notice before we started it out as an empty object. So right here, we'll start it as an empty object. Then inside of your reducer, you modify the thing. So we'll do the same thing. We'll set the property. And the last thing you need to do is return your accumulator so that in the next iteration, it has access to the object that it's been building up. And now that's a nice little 4-line function that does the thing. Nice. Okay, that was fun. Probably did that for way too long, but it was a fun little challenge. Let's catch up on the chat because I have been talking for a while. Hello, Michael Kopp. Good morning, good evening. Hello, Nicholas. Welcome to the stream. Yusuf asks, what's the chances of getting a remote job for a software engineer graduate? It's possible, but the thing is, being a new graduate, being a junior developer, it helps to be in person. It helps to be able to just turn your chair around and ask someone for help. And when you're working a remote job, it's really easy to hide or not get help. So it's definitely harder, and you'd have to work really hard to make sure that you're getting the help you need and you're reaching out to people. But it's possible, and especially if you work at a company that is remote first, meaning they care about remote employees, where every single meeting they make sure that they have a video chat. People are online all day. Sometimes they do video chat all day, but it's just like muted, so you know people are online. If you can find a company like that, it might be a good first choice, but there are a lot of challenges of being a junior developer, and when you're just working remotely, sitting at home, and you don't have anyone else around you, it can be pretty tough. Erzan asked, do I recommend Udemy courses? I haven't watched any myself, so I can't recommend them. Yeah, JT is giving a callback to What did I do? The 101 ways to deploy React. I was using a Jiffy API, and I set the rating to PG-13, and then some risque GIFs popped up. I don't know. Jimmy is asking, do you believe that you can be operational as a developer in only 3 months of a bootcamp? I don't think so. It depends. Like, if you're just doing front-end HTML, CSS, JavaScript work, it's doable. Like, you can learn the basics of that stuff, and you can fix bugs on websites. You could even work, like, on WordPress and stuff like that. Like, with only 3 months of training, you know enough to build websites and potentially fix them. Now, if you want to be like a full stack developer and like build backend applications as well or work on mobile apps, it's going to take a lot more than just 3 months of learning because there's so much to learn. But I think with 3 months, you have the ability to get just like a basic front end dev job. Potentially full stack if maybe you have some other background, but it's iffy, but it's doable. If you really want to do more, then go to some of the longer programs and learn about the full stack and other things as well, but yeah. Jonathan is asking, it's been a while since you did a Vue app. What do you think? I really like Vue. I've just been coding in React at my job for like the past 3 months. But I like Vue. Vue is good. Cool. Oh, we lost it. Did I go too far? Ishfan is saying, great teacher. It's 11 p.m. in Pakistan. You should go to bed soon. I've been staying up way too late. I think last night I stayed up till 2. I actually stream myself playing games on Twitch, but I recently set a calendar reminder for 11 p.m. every single day from now until the end of time. Go to bed. Just to remind myself that I should like stop playing games or stop watching TV and just go to sleep. Yeah, Oliver's saying the from entries is so desperately needed. I always have to write a bad reduce for it. This isn't that bad. Yeah? I mean, I'm just trying to think like what kind of error checking you could do as well. I don't know if you'd need to. You'd probably want to make sure that key is not an empty string. Yeah, I don't know. And make sure that key actually is a string. Otherwise, you do like toString or something like that. Cool. Venumadov is asking, what do you think the future of React.js will be? I think it's looking bright. The stuff with, what are they called? The use effects, use state. What are those things called? Use state. Hooks, React hooks. This makes it a lot easier to create like very simple components. So that's cool. I think it's like way behind the kind of cool stuff that you can do with Vue.js, but so many people are using React, at least if they start making more readable and easier to understand apps, that's a good thing. Raphael is asking, what's morning tea about? We're just hanging out. I'm drinking tea, you're drinking water, tea, coffee, whatever it is. We're browsing the web, we're answering questions. It's a good time. If you missed it, I'm drinking yerba mate revelberry. If any Gayaki reps are out there, please sponsor me. Let's take a quick stretch. Kotek says, I really like your videos, building new things using new technologies. So do you look forward for making programming tutorial in particular language or framework videos like other YouTube channels? Potentially. I think when I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't have a job, so I could kind of just code all the time, and I had time to prepare new things. Now I have a day job, so I'm pretty much writing React on the front end, Node, MySQL on the back end. So I don't really have as much time to look into new things, but I'd like to. Like, in the past, I've talked about learning Rust, talked about potentially doing, like, Python streams. I did C# for, like, 3 years in a past life, so it'd be fun to do stuff on other things as well. But right now, I'm, like, super deep in the JavaScript ecosystem. Hello, Kim. Welcome to the stream. Mateo, happy birthday, and happy Super Bowl. Who here is going to watch the Super Bowl? If you're going to watch the Super Bowl, put a Super Bowl emoji in the chat. If you're going to have a life, put a tractor emoji in the chat. Yeah, Julian saying this is a classic reduce one-liner. Let's make it a one-liner. Okay, so we have this function, right? Let's put it into one line. So, let's comment this out. To make it a one-liner, we need to return the object all on one line. So basically, and we can't really create these variables. Well, actually, even cooler, we can destructure in the function parameter. So we could take this destructuring and put it right there. That way we don't need to do that. That's great. Now, how do we turn this into a one-liner? We can use the comma operator. So if we wrap this in parentheses and then do comma obj, what this does is it evaluates this and then returns the thing after the comma. So now that we have this, we can just turn it into a nice little one-line function. Boom. Let's try it. It works. Cool. That's a nice little, like, tweetable function. Cool. Yeah, Connor is saying, I'm considering taking my mechanical keyboard to my new job because I can't stand my mushy $5 keyboards. If you're new, wait. Because these things are loud, and especially like if you're in an open office environment or in cubicles, people can get really annoyed by the sound of a mechanical keyboard. So look into like more silent switches. I think like the MX Reds are pretty silent. They're not totally silent, but they're a lot quieter than this. Just be wary of your co-working neighbors. Yeah, Oliver, where's the one-liner at? There we go. That's basically what I did, but with shorter variable names. Awesome. Leona's asking, are you self-taught or did you go to school? So I went to school for computer science, which is very theory-heavy. Like I learned about data structures. I learned about programming languages and compilers and operating systems. I learned about like really low-level stuff. But ultimately, like the first job I got, I was building desktop applications on Windows. I am self-taught in that I taught myself web development because I learned like computing concepts in school, but not really web development. So I taught myself JavaScript and jQuery, a little bit of PHP. I taught myself Node. But I do have a formal schooling in computer science. Satya is asking, can you make a video about your IDE and text editor? Yes, I want to make a shorter one because I did do one. If you search my channel for setting up a Mac, search for like Coding Garden, setup Mac. Yeah, this one. So this video is like an hour and a half long, but you can check out the links. I show all of the VS Code extensions I use. I show all of the apps that I installed. So you can check that out. But I would like to do like a shorter, maybe 30 minutes or less video where I just talk about my process. I also want to do one on specifically the rules that I prefer in ESLint. I inherited a project at work recently, and it really made me realize what rules I prefer when writing JavaScript. So that would be fun to do as well. Hello, Anand! Finally found me live. This is really just turning into like a Q&A hangout, but that's fine. Hello, Rabbitworks. Welcome to the stream. Oh, just stopping by. That's cool, though. Orlando is asking, what keyboard am I using? This is like a $30 mechanical keyboard I found on Amazon, really just to try mechanical keyboards, and it works for me, and I have not become like a mechanical keyboard head where I'm like customizing my keys and stuff like that yet, but I really like it. I don't even know what brand this is. It's like some cheap brand. It costs like 30 bucks, but it has decent switches. They're swappable. If you just search for RGB mechanical keyboard on Amazon, actually, let me do this. I'm going to hide my screen real quick. I'm going to create an affiliate link. And if anyone wants to buy a mechanical keyboard, please click this link. RGB mechanical keyboard. Main thing is I created an Amazon affiliate account, and then I have not, I think maybe 2 people have clicked my links, and they're going to shut down my account if no one clicks a link. So if you want to support me, you can click this link. Yeah, that's the one. Cool. There's that link. This is the keyboard I use. I paid $35 for it. It's on Amazon Prime. The keys are swappable. It's got good reviews. Like, it's potentially a good entry-level keyboard if you just want to see, like, do you even want to use a mechanical keyboard? Keys are swappable. It comes with a nice little key puller tool, a detachable USB cord, which is nice. But if you click that link in the chat, you can potentially support me by ordering that off of Amazon. Shameless plug. Shameless. I'm selling out. I'm basically selling out. That should be the title of the stream. CJ sells out. Vias is asking, one quick question. What's your opinion about WebAssembly? I know what I have to know. I know that I have to know C++ and Rust for it. Is it worth learning? So, potentially, you don't necessarily learn WebAssembly. You use some native language like C++ or Rust or I think even Go, and you write your app, but you run it through a compiler that turns it into WebAssembly. So you potentially get like near native performance in the browser having written it in some other native language. But no one is really going to be writing WebAssembly by hand. It's just a feature that's now available in browsers that you might use a tool to convert your code to run in WebAssembly. Is it worth using? If you have like performance-intensive applications like data visualizations, games, number crunching, you might want to use something like WebAssembly. Michael is saying, I'm a full stack dev, and truthfully, I only feel comfortable saying that for the last 2 of my 7 active years. Yeah. A lot of people throw around the term full stack developer. I say I'm a full stack developer, and I feel like I can back it up, but like, can you really debug the full stack? Can you be dropped anywhere in the stack and be able to fix an application or create an application? A lot of people, maybe not. Maybe you know a little bit of front end, a little bit of back end. Do you know anything about servers or deploying or continuous integration? Do you know anything about security? It takes a lot to really call yourself a full stack dev. Hello, Karan from India. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's see the emojis. After we look at the emojis, I'll keep looking. How long have I been streaming? Almost an hour. You know what? Maybe we should just call this CJ Catches Up with the Community and Answers Questions live stream every Saturday at 10:36 a.m. Mountain Time. Because this is fun. I love answering questions. Alex is saying, how did you get into coding? I was always really good at fixing computers. I built my own computer when I was 13. I was the webmaster in high school. I worked at the computer fixing help desk in college. I always loved computers. And then because I fixed them and knew how they mostly worked from like a superficial level, I wanted to create the applications that were running on them. So that was my goal. So I got a computer science degree, learned about all that, and started building apps. But ultimately, I love technology and always have. Tractor, but I will watch the halftime wrestling. Is there going to be a wrestling match at halftime? Because that would be great. Super Burrito Bowl. Oh yeah, I think I got a message from Chipotle. Because of the Super Bowl, you can get a burrito bowl, but you get free guacamole, free extra protein, free whatever else normally costs money. Yeah, so go to Chipotle on the Super Bowl day. Let me catch up. Draj is saying, can you make a multi-student quiz app? That'd be fun. Myself and Mr. Chad, also known as Cheddar, did a pairing live stream with Feathers.js a while back. We actually didn't get too far, and I don't think we really finished the app, but if you take a look at this build a real-time question-answer app with Feathers.js, we kind of create the basis for it, but I don't think we ever finish it. But the idea is you can create classrooms. Classrooms can have quizzes, and in real time, students can answer them, and teachers can see the answers coming in. So if you check out that stream, I think we did 2 parts. like I said, it's mostly like setup and learning about feathers. But yeah, you can check that out. Hello, yes sir, welcome to the stream. Kotek is asking any updates on the Coding Garden community app. If you're not aware of what happened or what is happening, you can check out 2 live streams ago, Coding Garden community app planning meeting. So myself and some of the core contributors actually did a live stream. They were on video chat where we just talked about and planned the community app that we're building. If you want to know more about it, you can go to github.com/codinggardencommunity. And if you take a look at the wiki, you can see, if you go to the wiki, what it's all about. And basically, we're building a mobile app that has Coding Garden info in it, but we're going to build it together as a community. So anyone can contribute, anyone can add ideas. And really, right now, we're just in the planning phases, and we have like the initial versions of the app. It's going to be a React Native mobile app deployed to the app stores, and we're going to have an Express backend. So if you're interested in it, check that out. We also have a Discord, all that good stuff. We ask that you really only join the Discord if you plan to actively contribute. But yeah, it's a thing. Satya, any chances of making videos on Python? Potentially. Maybe not anytime soon, but I actually did Python years ago at my last job. Yeah. Thanos says, I would suggest solving one of the greatest mysteries. Redux React API, edit an entry of something in 2019. Like an edit page with a React app? Is that what you're asking? Yes, sir is saying, I tuned in yesterday and watched the Newbie Tuesday message board stream. Yeah, so if you check out the channel and scroll down to, I think we have a noob streams section. Yeah, noob streams. If you look at, I think it was on Newbie Tuesdays, build a full stack message board. So myself and Tony, who's a complete and total code noob, we pair and we build a simple messaging board app that has a front end and a back end. And you can really learn a lot about how it all connects together. Cool. Hello, Takidine. Takidine? Hello, Sadcarsm. Will you teach us the Spring Boot framework and use it with Vue.js? That would be interesting as well. I've had like a little bit of experience with Spring Boot, helping students and helping coworkers just like figure it out. But you can create JSON APIs with Spring Boot. That would be fun. I don't know. Can you use the Node Domino's Pizza API to order pizza? That actually reminds me, if you've seen the YouTuber Jarvis Johnson, I think his name is, pizza. I wrote a program to order pizza. So he did this video, but he actually used Python to do it, and just kind of just to show how programming works. So that would be fun. Yusuf says, I appreciate your efforts. Wish you the best. Thank you so much. Karan is saying, any good site to learn Vue.js except the docs? The docs are awesome, but check out Vue Mastery. Let's take a quick stretch. Really, this has just turned into a Q&A, but I'm okay with it. I mean, it's fun to talk to everyone. Let me know in the chat, how do you feel about this format of the live stream? Yeah, so Vue Mastery is cool. I think they have some free videos. My privacy blocker is blocking it. If you look at their courses, Intro to Vue, 11 lessons, they're all free to watch. This course assumes a basic. And they're really good. They have really great animations. I believe one of these is actually taught by Evan Yu, the creator of Vue himself. Yeah, Advanced Components. Him and Greg Pollock are teaching him that one, so check that one out. Oh no, I closed the chat. That's not good. They're all free. Doo 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 doo. Doo 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 doo. Yeah, Anand is asking to cover test weights like Jest, Mocha, Jasmine. I probably will do a video on testing with React, Jest, and Enzyme, and potentially also Redux sagas, because I've done a lot of that recently at work. You can talk about some of the things that I've learned. Extreme Fool saying 24-hour live stream. I don't know if I could do that. For one, I'd have to be sitting down. I could not stand up the whole time. And parts of the stream, I'd probably just have music playing and me coding and not talking, because this gets a little exhausting, just constantly talking. Farid is asking, can you do a live about web app security? It would be fun to do a live stream. I have done, I did a talk a year, probably 2 years ago at this point. Search security best practices with node.js CJ. This is the one. Yeah, so I streamed this from a live meetup February of 2017. We are now in February of 2019. 2017. 2 years ago. I did this 2 years ago. But it's a fun talk. I have a GitHub repo with all the stuffs, and I show basic security concepts and demonstrate how to exploit them and how to fix them with Node.js, so you can check that out. It would be fun to do that live, though. To, like, deploy an app and see who could hack it and then, like, try to fix it. That would be fun. Oliver, Koa is greater than Express. It seems really cool. I tried it, and it just seems like it requires a lot more setup than just Express. Like, you have to add a lot more middlewares and plugins to get things working in a similar way, which might not it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just what I found. I have heard about Flutter. It's basically a way of writing native apps. I have not tried it. S. Harp is asking, what's my country? I am in Denver, Colorado in the USA. It's currently 11:49 a.m., so it's about to be like lunchtime. Apparently, you are 12 hours ahead of me. What do I think of React Native? I like it. I think if you're doing more like seriously native things like maps or potentially camera or various things that require native features, it could get a little iffy when you're trying to do it cross-platform, but overall it's pretty cool. Bob's Paradox is asking, when will Tony not be a noob? I don't know. Never. Like, he's not actively working as a developer yet. He still works as a surgeon's assistant, doing like coding on the side every now and then. I think once he gets a job doing it, he'll no longer be a noob because he'll just be doing it every day. Can anyone hear that music? Person driving by is playing it way too loud. Leon is asking, do you always stand when you code, even at work? I do. I have, it's not technically a standing desk, it doesn't adjust, but I have a desk set up at work where I can stand, and I have like a bar chair that I can pull up if I ever want to sit down, but I stand for most of the time. More links! I guess I should be putting these in the README as well. Okay, Elia is asking, seriously, what do you like better, React or Vue? I like Vue better. It's easier to understand. It's easier to get started. It requires less code. I like Vue.js. React, not somehow, in the historical context, React came along and it was great, and it was a great way to build apps, but I like that in Vue.js you can mutate state. Like, mutating state is not a bad thing. Even if you're using Vuex, you still mutate state, but because of the way they're doing things, they can keep track of state mutations, whereas in React, everything has to be pure, and you're not supposed to mutate state. I actually like that. It makes things easier to understand. Yeah. Cool. I guess no one really commented on it, but how do you all who are watching feel about the format of how this show has gone so far? It's just a lot of question and answering. I think I've clicked like 2 links at this point. And I've been streaming for a little over an hour now. Let's click 2 more links, try to implement something, and then I'll end the stream. All right, let's move on from r/JavaScript. I don't think I'm going to do learn programming or learn JavaScript because that would take a while to answer questions. Let's look at r/programming and look at some news. ASCII generator, written in Python. Let's check it out. So you give it a video, and it gives you back an ASCII version of the video. That's pretty cool. Can we look at the GitHub repo? Let's look at the GitHub repo. Video to video. By running the script video to video.py with different values for background mode, we'll have the following outputs. Input video, image to text. Interesting. Requires Python 3.6, CV2, PIL, and NumPy. This would be fun to just run locally on like an image of me or something like that. It might take a while to get set up because I'd have to have all those dependencies. Maybe I could do it in a Docker container? I don't know. Let's hold on to that. That's fun. Like, I wouldn't write it myself. I would just use the library that he wrote and try to get it working. But that's cool. Netflix engineers share the technical challenges that the UI and playback teams face, making the Black Mirror Bandersnatch interactive film. So, I don't think I was streaming during this time, but I was absolutely obsessed with Black Mirror Bandersnatch. If you look at my Reddit history, I was posting in the Bandersnatch and Black Mirror Reddits. I was like detecting, watching the network traffic and trying to figure out how they were choosing the different scenes. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. But they actually talk about, wow, it's an hour-long technical talk. That is awesome. I'm definitely going to watch this. So basically, they're just talking about how they did it. So if you're not familiar, Black Mirror is a show. It's a show. It's a TV show. But they came out with this special episode called Bandersnatch, where when you watch it on Netflix, as you watch the show, there are certain decision points. And as a viewer, the decision, possible paths for that decision will pop up, and you get to click on a decision, and it'll play a totally different movie. So it's a choose-your-own-adventure TV show. But what's cool about it is there are millions and billions of different paths, because as you go down a path, if you ever go back in time, the character is like aware of what happened, so it's actually like playing a different sequence of the same things happening. It's amazing. I'm definitely going to watch this later. Let's check that out. Cool. All right. Let's try to get this ASCII generator working. I feel like it's going to take me like an hour because it's in Python and there are certain dependencies. But I think I want to get this working and like convert an image of myself into ASCII art, or like take the Coding Garden logo and turn it into ASCII art. That would be fun. Let's see. Is UX the best state management? It's the best state management for Vue, and you can actually use it with other things. I really like it. Opinion on Syntax YouTube channel. I don't think I've heard of it or seen it before. Let's check it out. He has 600,000 subscribers. He's definitely doing something right. I've never seen his channel, but I'm sure it's fun. Does he do live streams as well? Don't know. Random question, why doesn't emit work in JSX? I think you can get it working, it just requires some configuration. This is amazing. Could be a cool stream to integrate that into a Vue or React web app. So are you talking about this ASCII thing where potentially you have an app where you can upload it, maybe it calls a Python backend and then shows you the result? That'd be cool. I I have not done any tutorials on Docker, but I definitely want to. And I have a friend who works as a DevOps engineer, and I'm thinking I'm going to get her on here to do a pairing episode. So that would be pretty fun to learn about Docker and containers and Kubernetes and stuff like that. I should try to make a text adventure a game like Twine. That would be fun too. Leon, have a good day, CJ. Hockey is on. Enjoy that hockey. See you later. See you, Josh. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, here we go. I am going to attempt to get this thing working. This ASCII generator. All right. I'm going to minimize the chat for now. Doesn't have any issues or pull requests. If we look at the requirements, it just says this. Okay, let's just clone this thing down and see if we can get it running. I think I might have Python 3.6 on my machine. If I don't, I'm going to have to install it. Okay, so I'm just going to clone it into this directory. I think the ultimate goal is to take the Coding Garden logo, like this, and turn it into ASCII art using this Python thingy. That's taking a very long time to download. Wow, why is it so big? Because we have data. Oh, they have like a example MP4 in there. Yeah, that's why this repo is so big. Cool. All right, it cloned. If we open up VS Code, we can see what we got. The README tells us we need Python 3.6. Let's see if I have Python 3. I do have Python 3, 3.7, so I think we're good there. CV2. I'm curious if that's like a native dependency. Which one of these do we want? Do we want image to image, image to text, video to video? Let's see. Given an input image, you could generate ASCII art stored under the text format. Given an input image, you can generate ASCII art stored under an image format. Okay, so I think basically this converts an image into text. This converts it to text, but saves that text as an image. So let's just do it image to text first. So I think this is the one that we want to use. It's importing CV2 and importing NumPy. So I think we can just pip install those. So if I do pip install CV2, go into that directory. So pip is, I think, the Python package manager or something like that. You're using pip version 10, however version 19 is available. You should consider upgrading pip. Let's do that. Let's take a quick stretch. Okay, let's upgrade pip. Also, it couldn't find CV2, so we'll have to figure out how to get that. But let's do Python 3 CV2. How to import CV2 in Python 3. How to install OpenCV2 for Python in Windows. I think I might have to actually... so it's called OpenCV Python. And I have to use pip3 specifically because we're using Python 3. Your screenshot shows doing a pip install. Also, the package I believe you want is opencv-python. Yeah, we're going to try this pip3 install thing. I might have to update pip3. Okay, so that just installed NumPy and OpenCV Python. That's great. Are we going to just be able to run this thing? So They don't exactly have a README or like a description of usage. Maybe they print it out. My guess is we just run the Python command from the terminal and give it some parameters. So, not now. So input, the image we want to use, output, yeah, so we could just try to run it with default. Let's do it. Dot slash image to text. We're going to do Python 3 image to text.py. Apparently it worked. So it took input.jpg and gave us input.text. Wow, it worked. Okay, so here's what we do. We're going to grab the Coding Garden logo and convert it. Let's hide my screen for just a second. Let's save this locally. Morning tea today. Okay, so I saved it. Now in the directory we have this Coding Garden image. Oh, I wonder if it supports PNG. I hope it does, but if not, maybe I'll have to convert it or something. So I want to convert this to ASCII art text. So I think I can run it and do -- input. So we'll do this -- input. Should I add a space? I think I'll add a space. And then output will be cg.text. Anything else? Let's go. No way. Whoa, it worked. Okay, here's what we do. Can we open that? And then, like, go way down. Hey, look at that. It's not that great, but it kind of worked. Sweet. Just for kicks, let's put it on the internet. I'm gonna make a directory to just like deploy this as a static app. Let's call it CG text logo, or do ASCII logo. We're gonna create an index.html. And in that, we'll just paste this in like a code block. That's really small. Coding Garden ASCII. Okay, so in HTML, you can use what's called a pre-block. And a pre-block maintains all of the formatting. So it maintains the spacing and everything. And it uses a monospace font, meaning every character takes up the same amount of space, because that's what you need if you want this to do the thing. So let's save this and then just run it and see what we get in the browser. Nice. It's kind of messed up. I think if we zoom out, does it do it? No, it's a little messed up. I think because it saved, yeah, it saved the tabbing. We don't want to save the. Yeah, we want it to be all the way to the left. What is it doing? There are also other options for outputting it. Like if we look in here, number of colors. Oh, no. Number of columns for the outputs width. It defaults to 150 columns. And it's using complex mode. Let's see if we do simple mode, if it looks any different. Okay. If we look at the simple one, ooh. It's honestly a little bit more legible. Let's try to use this one. Right, because I don't want any spacing before or after. I want it to be all original spacing, just like that. Oh, okay, that's it. That's good. That's what we want. All right, let's give it just some basic styles. Style. Let's say body has no margin. Let's say, let's make it a flex box so this thing is centered. So we'll do display, flex, justify content, center, align items, center, width, 100 view width, height, 100 view height. Background will be black, and color will be lime. Let's see what we get. Nice! We could also, let's make the font size relative to the view width so it actually resizes. So let's say font size is, I don't know, 1 view width. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, but now as we resize, it resizes with it, which is cool. Let's go a little bit smaller so that the whole thing is visible. Yeah. And so now, as we resize, it resizes with the window, so that's great. I like it. It's actually pretty weird. I don't know if it looks as weird on there. I don't know. Okay, let's deploy it. No, here. Now. Yeah, I'm just going to use the old version of now because it does like a static deploy. Sweet, we're on the internet. All right, let me catch up on chat, and then I think I'll end the stream there. I'll push up all these links and everything. Cool. Oliver's saying, implement the image ASCII algorithm in Rust, compile to WebAssembly, and then deploy it as a web app. That would be fun, actually. So basically, take what they wrote in Python, but write it in some native language like Rust or C++ or something like that. Basically, take this code, rewrite it in a native language, compile that to WebAssembly so that it just works inside of the browser, and then you have it working in a web app. That would be fun. People are telling me to use a virtual environment. Like, yeah, I don't use Python on a daily basis. So basically what happened was when I did the pip3 install, this installed it on my entire computer. And you may not want that because in certain Python projects, you might want to use different versions of the same package. So what you can do is create a virtual environment like in this directory where that package is only installed here and not on my whole system. Very similar to the node modules directory in NPM. Yeah. Yeah, so Mayer saying do pip3. Eventually I figured that out. Chopaway is asking basically what is my break timer? I use Time Out by Dejal. This one is only for Mac. You can check out iLeo for Windows, and there are other things for Linux, but I have it set up so every 15 minutes it tells me to take a 10-second break, and every hour it tells me to take a 5-minute break. But keeps me moving, prevents repetitive strain injuries, all that good stuff. Yeah, so it worked. Yeah. Oliver's saying I should use vmin rather than vw for the text size. What is vmin? I've never heard of that, I don't think. One 1/100th of the minimum value of the height and width of the viewport. Oh, height and width instead of just width. I like that. Okay, let's try to use that. So in here, let's say vmin instead. Yeah, but now, regardless of the height or width, it resizes. I like that a lot. Okay, let's go a little bit bigger though. 1.3. Too big. 1.2. Too big. 1.1. Oh, yeah, okay. So now you'll notice it doesn't scroll. It always is in the viewport. Except when it gets just a little bit too small. But yeah, that's great. Thanks for the suggestion, Oliver. Let's deploy it again. I don't know if it might have cached. No, it got it. It got the latest version. Sweet. I like that. Hello, Edgar. Welcome to the stream. Mukamrad is saying, thanks for the cool teaching. I have questions how to solve or call the API and using fetch, but there is issue with cores and corb. I've never heard of corb. Maybe it's a misspelling, but typically if you're in control of the server, you can add your cores headers. If you're using Express, there's a package that called cores that will just do it for you. But ultimately, there's a header that needs to be set called access control allow origin. Let's see if it's in here. Maybe it has dashes. Yeah. So basically, your server needs to set this header. And if it does star, that means anyone can make the request. But if you know exactly what client origin is making the request, you add this header with the client origin. If you're using Express, there's a package called cores that just does it for you. Anything else, basically look up how to set headers in that backend language. So this is the one you want. And that's if you're in control of the server. If you're not in control of the server, then you'll probably potentially have to create a proxy. So basically, you'll create your own backend server that makes the request to the other server and then forwards that response back to your front end. And on the server that you create, you add cores. I think I've done some videos, just basic videos, where I create basically a proxy server. Let's search for Coding Garden proxy. Yeah, so a YouTube API proxy server. Because basically, the YouTube API, you can't call directly from the front end because there are no cores headers. So I make a very simple Node app that calls the YouTube API and then sends back the response. And then my front end API talks to my proxy. So you can check this out. It'll be probably a similar idea for what you're trying to do. Cool. Yeah, Ed used to tune in all the time for morning tea back in the day. I used to do it like twice a week, and then I stopped doing it. Quick stretch. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it there. I have been streaming for an hour and a half, which is a decent amount of time. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the kind comments. I will throw it out there. I started a Twitch channel, Gaming Garden with CJ, and every now and then I will stream games on here. I streamed myself playing Rocket League and Paladins last night. I'll warn you, I'm not any good at games, but it would be fun to like get some parties together and like play various games on the interwebs. Cool. All right, I am going to end it there. All of the code that I wrote, I'll push up to GitHub. I'll also push up all these links. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. We'll see you next time. Here's this.